The Chiefs can't beat Joe Burrow, but you know what? I'm feeling okay. Let's talk some Chiefs. Welcome to the Chief in the North Monday morning. As you can see, I am Seth Kaiser, the Chief of the North, but I am not currently in the North. In case my surroundings haven't tipped you off to that, I am with my family in sunny Florida, Anna Maria, just enjoying some well-earned vacation. Maybe not well-earned by me, but well-earned by someone, and that's good enough for me. But you know what? There's no rest for the weary, and so I wanted to just come to you guys with a few quick hitter thoughts on Chiefs Bengals. As you know, Chiefs lose 27-24, familiar score, dropping again to the Joe Burrow-led Bengals, who, give them credit, made some plays when it counted. Burrow's last throw was a terrific one to end the game, and it was just a tough overall out. The Bengals played well. The Chiefs didn't play as well as they could have. And so, like I do every Monday, I've got a few thoughts on some of the things that I think should be the primary takeaways from the game. And in this case, I'm going to borrow a little bit from the Chief of the North newsletter, which you can go check out on Substack. But basically, the long and short of it is sometimes you lose to good teams. And that's one of the things that happened to the Chiefs. Sometimes there's really no lesson other than if you don't play really well against a really good team, odds are you might lose. And that's one of the things that happened there. But there's a couple other things that I think people really, long term, could have a much greater impact on the Chiefs' playoff chances. The first was the fact that they really struggled to protect Mahomes. Even on some of their positive plays, they had a couple of great deep shots to MVS. So those aside, they struggled at times to protect him. And it wasn't just Nick Allegretti who's in there for Joe Thuney. That's to be expected. He's a backup. There's going to be problems there. Andrew Wiley had an up and down day. It's been an up and down season for him. But Orlando Brown had another game that was tough. And when you're supposed to be one of the foundational pieces of the offensive line, that can't happen. And so it was just a tough day for him overall. On the other side of the ball, the Chiefs' pass rush really wasn't doing much. And it didn't matter whether they were rushing for or blitzing. It didn't really matter what they were doing. They weren't able to hurry Joe Burrow enough. And Burrow, to his credit, on the half dozen to 10 snaps where they did get some pressure, he handled it really well. He moved really well. And that's just a tough day overall when you don't get a lot of pressure, and then when you do, they handle it well. But that big thing, the pass rush versus the protection of Mahomes, that's going to be the thing that's going to determine largely how far they go this season. If they can protect Mahomes, he'll make something happen. If they can get after quarterbacks a little bit, the secondary's been fine. But those two things, if they can't do them, they're going to have problems if they can't at least do one or the other of them. Another thing to take a look at is that coverage of the middle of the field. Joe Burrow picked on the linebackers all day, especially Nick Bolton. And look, I like Nick Bolton a lot. I think Nick Bolton's a really good player, but it is time that we acknowledge that some of his issues in coverage, they do exist. There are some problem with his lateral agility, and that at times leads to him getting beat in a way that is less than preferable when he drops back into zones. He can't cover as wide a zone as you'd ideally like to be able to close off some of those passing lanes. Safeties didn't play particularly well in that regard either, which is tough after a week where you talk a little smack, and that's fine. These things happen. Sometimes you lose to good teams. Those are three of the primary issues. The tackling would be another one. That's been hot and cold for the Chiefs this season. That's been a problem that's bit them in the past as well. Does all this mean the Chiefs aren't a Super Bowl contender? No. They lost to a Super Bowl contender in a close game where they didn't play particularly well. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can't contend for a Super Bowl. What it does mean is they do need to lock up some of these issues if they want to be taken seriously as a contender. So here's the overarching big picture. We learned about the Chiefs that the pass rush that was starting to come around, that might have been a little more of a mirage than we were hoping. And so the pass protection, those are the two big things. If they figure that out, the rest will fall into place overall. They've got the weapons, they've got the quarterback. So now what I'm looking to see is big picture. The Bills now have the 1 seed. The Chiefs are stuck at the 2 seed, but it's worth noting the Dolphins did everyone a favor and they lost. So all the Chiefs need is to run the table for the Bills to lose one. Bills have a much tougher schedule remaining. They've got the Bengals, they've got the Dolphins, they've got the Jets, whereas the Chiefs have games that they should win for the rest of their schedule. So all told, this could just be a blip on the radar to the 1 seed. But the big thing is to beat those high-level teams that they're going to need to beat in the playoffs. Pass rush, pass protection. That needs to get better. Hopefully it will, and hopefully in the meantime, the rest of you can have as good a week as I'm going to have sitting here in fun in the sun.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.